I think quite a stroke of genius, the way that the two bodies of work talk so integrally to each other. Both bodies of work for me are very contemplative, they're very meditative in the process of how the works are made, but also in the process of how we as the viewer come to spend more and more time with them. I've been following the career of Londiza for many years. I've got a few of his works in my collection, and he's a remarkable young artist. And again, I think the testimony to Annelie and her team for taking a really established master like Carl and putting him together with an emerging artist who's going to be a really serious player in the art world in the next few years. Jeppe and Njara spent his boyhood in years of spiritual awakening in the Mapondo Valley in rural Transkei. His Catholic schooling introduced him to Western or global ideologies and technologies. But he also lived in a cultural world of ancestral ritual slaughter, where blood was spilled in honor of the ancestors. His Christian grandmother believed that there was a place for Christianity, along with that of the Xhosa ancestral rituals. For her, both were necessary for our survival in society. This raised issues of belief and doubts in me, leading me to ask questions about my identity, says Njara. In his quest to understand where he finds himself in the world, his sculptures and drawings reflect his cultural beliefs and their hybridization with Western technological ways of being, and the entrails of a goat, for example, may be infused with mechanical cogs, or a headless Madonna figure may guard the entrance to a mine. This quite remarkable body of work by Londiza is in a sense a personal journey, and it's a journey of a spiritual nature. In fact, part of last year he took part of the year off, a personal sabbatical, to go back to the Transkei, to go and commune with his people, to go and find himself within the tradition that he came from, because he'd been away for so long living in Pretoria and assimilating into the urban culture of Pretoria. And for him that journey was a very, very important one in going back to find himself. So the result of what you see here is, as John said, it's a post-apocalyptic kind of vision, but not without hope. It's a kind of liminal body of work because it's about becoming something. It's not necessarily about getting to a point, but about that journey. So that liminality, that in-between space becomes vital. There is the hybridity, again, that John spoke about with regard to Carl's work, where two different bodies or two different approaches start fusing into one type of looking. So we get something that is as alienly juxtaposed as a goat or sheep's head combined with concrete and steel. The natural and the unnatural man-made products coming together in the tour de force of power. We have images that are quite often based in the ancestral, combined very, very strongly with contemporary images. For him, he constructs cathedrals out of gearboxes. This young man has managed to take the medium of concrete and find a way of working with it, that it has a quality of marble. It has a quality of something that's really precious. And in fact, it's just an amalgam of different kinds of stone and minerals. And it's in the skilled use of the material that the work really starts to sing and to hum. These works that look so beautifully patinaed, treated with polish, lovingly worked up, become sheer masterpieces. There's also a wicked sense of humor that comes across, those wonderful knives and tools as you come in that are Game Boy operated mechanical tools, like our old pocket knives. A nice wry sense of humor coming through there. But I think when one looks at the two bodies of work together and look at the bigger works of Londiza's, you see that there are two white figures emerging out from under the ground or from under a cathedral, or merging out. And I asked him what the significance of them were and why they were done in white. And for him, it was the sense of that emerging on the spiritual journey, but also that sense almost of something angelic emerging out of humanity again. And the piece that stands right in the middle of the room is very, very well positioned because the jawbone of that animal almost forms two wings, playing into that whole idea of the angelic, the emergent. So Londiza, I'd like to congratulate you on what I think is a very, very fine body of work, and to Carl as well for an incredible body of work that hangs together in such a beautiful, professional, and quite a spiritual way.
You are welcome to enjoy the rest of the evening with us. Those of you who would like to purchase some of the works, I'm the lady with the red hat, so you can approach me. I only have 2 thumbs, so please bear with me. I'm the only one with the music tonight, and I would love to help you all in time. Enjoy with us. Thank you. I must just mention that I see so many old friends from Victoria here. Thank you for braving the Boerekoers Gordijn and coming to Johannesburg.
Me being a black African young man, I could actually, relate. I could see that his journey, it's about trying to balance, his beliefs in both the Catholicism and, ancestral spirits, African ancestral spirits.
We have great works and nice charcoal works, pencil works, great sculptural pieces, yeah.
The lovely thing about the sculptures is every single one takes about a second thought. And the beautiful thing about perception is whoever looks at it has a different standing.
It's a different collection, but I love it.
The work is very clean cut, and it's very finished.
But I am completely intrigued.
And I quite love that this is a mentor-mentee kind of exhibition, Carl being the mentor and Londiza being the mentee. I love the synergy they have.
But I'm really impressed. I think it is huge, it is substantial, it really grabbed my attention, so I'm impressed.